I'm Bryson Bort, the CEO and founder of SCYTHE, here to talk about ransomware. So, seems like a day doesn't go by that we don't have ransomware in the news. We've had DarkSide, we've had Reavil, and there are more gangs and they just keep populating. So, a memo was just released by the White House, and I'm gonna read the beginning verbatim. The number and size of ransomware incidents have increased significantly, and strengthening our nation's resilience from cyber attacks, both private and public sector, is a top priority of the president's. Under President Biden's leadership, the federal government is stepping up to do its part, working with like-minded partners around the world to disrupt and deter ransomware actors. These efforts include disrupting ransomware networks, working with international partners to hold countries that harbor ransomware actors accountable, developing cohesive and consistent policies toward ransom payments, and enabling rapid tracing and interdiction of virtual currency proceeds. The private sector also has a critical responsibility to protect against these threats. So this is now where we get to us. We in the private sector are the primary victim of this ransomware scourge that has been growing, and it's going to continue to go. The economic utility of ransomware has not shifted. It'll be interesting to see how the government starts to shift that calculus. But in the meantime, here's some things that the government recommended that we're going to cover that you can do. The first is a backup plan. Now, a backup plan requires two parts. First, you want your local hot backup. So this is your on-site, it's a part of your hosts, it's easy to do, and it's easy to maintain. The problem being, of course, is that with it being so accessible and easy to get to, it's a target for the ransomware actors themselves. It's awfully hard to get someone to pay ransomware if they can easily just back up and ignore you, which is why you need a second backup plan. On top of that easy local backup, tied to something you should be doing for business continuity planning, you want an offsite backup. So the ability to send the data, typically tape drives is a common mechanism, to an offsite facility that's physically far enough away, and now you've given yourself a backup plan that's going to cover even further than just the challenge of ransomware. It's harder for ransomware to affect that, although that is a concern that you want to look at. Now that you've got this backup plan, test your backup plan. Can't tell you how many times I've seen it that folks go, yeah, we got the backup. They go to the backup and it doesn't work. Happens more common than you think. There is almost no worse feeling in the world than trying to have a backup that isn't going to back up. So make sure you test both of those backup plans on a consistent basis to identify that everything's coming through. Then threat assessments with an assume breach philosophy. So now we want to say, well, security and our ability is defined by the threat. So let's bring that in. The assume breach perspective is an attacker is going to get in. It'd be nice to say that something as commodity-based as ransomware isn't going to work, but a lot of the methods don't require a lot of technical sophistication, and they still work. So know where you stand on that and conduct those tests. Fortunately, we at SCYTHE, this is something that we do and we can help you with. Whether you need a quick adversary emulation as a service, we can do that cheaply and fast. Whether you want something more sustained, that's where our platform comes in. It allows you to easily test and retest to make sure that you're keeping what you've earned. Security is a constant fight against gravity. Our platform helps you maintain that edge and continue to grow people, process, and technology off of it. And one of the things that we do that has made us pretty famous lately is we emulate ransomware safely in your environment. We have a number of ways to do that. We're providing in our emulation library, if you check out our website, check out that library, constantly updating the latest threats. We pushed out DarkSide within less than 2 days, and we're going to continue to push out additional threats. So even if you're not using our platform, you can get the latest threat intelligence and the actions to bring those in yourself. Shortly, we're going to put out a post on the real cost of ransomware, and that will be followed up with a detailed report that will be available for free on our website for download. As always, feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions, and hopefully all of us together can continue to do what we can to stop the spread of ransomware.